comfortable with failure and I'm comfortable with success. I've played for a long time. I really cherish the game, and I know I'm closer to the end than the beginning. So I think for me, it's just about maximizing each day, maximizing your talents, and just really working. I think that the team has a huge faith and belief in me and my talent and my ability, and I think they appreciate my approach. And I think, for me, throughout the game, down the stretch, whatever coach draws up, I'm living with it.
Like the way we fought back, but there's a lot of things that go throughout the game that myself can be better at, and missed opportunity for sure.
Tough loss for the Knicks for sure. We're joined here at the desk. You already heard Chiney Ogwumike, Ramona Shelburne, Bobby Marks, George Sedano in for Malika. So, Ramona, how do the Hawks have a 2-1 lead?
Well, they're playing fast. They have an identity out there. They've been playing great in the second half of the season. And I think the Knicks look like a team that expected to win this series. When you fall behind, you kind of know you can come back because you got guys like Jalen, Brunson. You got OG Anunoby was playing great, but you can't fall behind against a team like this. It reminds me.
Chiney, what's your best Hawk impression? Is it better than that?
Favorite voice, girl.
Was that good?
No, pretty good.
All right, let's head to the A, okay? CJ McCollum and company. Here he is going to work right away, Chiney.
One of the shiftiest players in the NBA. Some things are seasoned in time, and he's saying, ain't no way he can guard me. Well, that is a fact at this point.
I mean, they traded Trae Young, and they got back a guy who's doing his best Trae Young right now.
Yeah.
True.
No doubt about it. And look, the Hawks were just on fire here to start this game. Here's a corner shot there from Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
They were just a step faster.
Yeah.
Period of this game here, certainly in that third quarter there.
Now, deja vu, we've seen this before. Here come the Knicks, though.
Good minutes from Deuce McBride, good minutes from OG Anunoby, knocking down threes. Those are the most important shot for them. But that block right there was huge.
Yeah.
And then this is an even better reset.
Anunoby was insane in this game. He gets the loose ball there off the block. But Anunoby, the kick out here. McBride, another three.
And then you started feeling maybe it's New York's time. Maybe they can
I
claw
thought they
their
were
way
going
back.
After that shot, that's when I thought they got it.
Now Brunson goes to work. The
Not this
spin,
shot. Not
the
this
hoop,
shot.
and the harm. Knicks looking for a fourth 18-point comeback in the last two postseasons. Next play, though, Jalen Johnson drives to the rim, gets denied, but gets it back.
Stayed with it, the hustle of the Hawks.
All right, so here, let's take a look at this last play. What are you seeing here, Chiney?
I'm seeing that Quinn Snyder was in his bag. He kept the best defenders away from the play so that CJ McCollum could get downhill and get to his kill spot.
Look who's
There it is.
defending that play, though.
Yeah, by design. Smart
One
move.
guy on him.
One guy.
He just did this to you last game.
Yeah. The Knicks have one more shot here. Brunson tries to get it to Hart, can't get it. Here come the Hawks, and this will be it.
Tough look. That's how they should have defended CJ.
A lot of white jerseys there. A lot of white jerseys.
Yeah, Kuminga and Alexander Walker there to come up with the loose ball. The Hawks become the first team to win consecutive playoff games by exactly 1 point since LeBron James's Cavaliers did it back in 2006 in consecutive overtime wins over the Wizards.
See a little bit the way the Hawks are playing, or the way the Minnesota Timberwolves are playing. Long, athletic, fast. There's Kuminga. I mean, every time in Golden State, they're probably watching this going, oh. But they have an identity, and the Knicks right now don't. And I think that's the difference in this series.
The New York Knicks are experiencing, unfortunately at the worst time, a regression, especially a number of their stars are regressing. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Hawks are having a renaissance behind CJ McCollum, who has been phenomenal. And there are a couple of plays where we can break this down the stretch where he has been the clutch player, where people thought it would be Jalen Brunson. Here, he's been cooking 81 points through 3 games. So what do? You send the double team, but he's not panicked. Again, you heard him in the press conference. He's poised. He's going to get to his spot, put on the brake, skirt. Look how much room he created to knock down this shot with under 3 left. But let's talk about the actual shot, because again, the best defenders were off and out of the play. Here, you got to pressure the ball to make this at least difficult and get CJ moving from behind. Nice little butt screen by coming, and then you go downhill, and then you have a small person. So all he has to do is elevate to knock down the most important shot of the game. I love this play from CJ McCollum. A lot of people sort of looked at the Atlanta Hawks and said, what are they going to do the second half of the season? Where they bet on defense, they bet on CJ McCollum being a true leader, someone who's formerly been the president of the MBPA. And then now moving forward, you bought time for a big signature game from a guy like Jalen Johnson too. So they've been sort of like easing their way in behind the leadership of CJ.
That's the first time I've ever heard butt screen, but also accurate. But
Yeah.
great. So
No, we call it. We say it all the time. Have you heard butt
Yeah,
screen?
I've heard that.
Yeah, butt screen. If you got it, you might as well use it. You know what I'm saying?
You got it, use it, no doubt. Hawks are soaring. The Knicks seem to be drowning at the moment, Bobby. But what do you make of their lineup situation at the moment?
Well, there's a lot. Every game is kind of different, right? As far as different strategy, different adjusting lineups. I think for New York, their core five, which includes Mikal Bridges, we didn't see him in the fourth quarter down the stretch here. And I think when you look at it here, this was something that stood out. Minus 11 with the starters here. And what Mike Brown did, he put in Deuce McBride. And we saw McBride guard CJ McCollum at the end. We can debate as far as if that was the right move here. And now look at that. Plus 24 with the other players here. And I think that's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on when we get to game 4, is if we see more McBride and less Bridges here. But, I mean, there's a lot of things that went wrong for New York. 10-0 in the third quarter for transition points. There was a big stretch there. The other thing that really stood out, and certainly that last possession there, in games with shot clock below 4 seconds or less, they are leading the league in field goal attempts. So you look at this offense that becomes a little bit discombobulated here, and a lot has to attribute to that.
Yeah, and that's a tough spot for a guy who the team traded 5 first-round picks for.
You trade for him to be in a spot like that at the end of the game, not to be on the bench.
You guys, lastly, did anyone feel weird? I know it was still statistically good numbers between Kuminga and Karl-Anthony Towns, but that matchup blew my mind. The fact that they're able to guard a center with Jonathan Kuminga, who's probably 6'7" at best, maybe 6'6". I know. I can't do it.
Did it.
But like Karl-Anthony Towns, you might be productive shooting, but like, why don't you have an offense where he can punish guys on a block? So it's not always Jalen Brunson trying to do his dance to try to score. It's now you have
Who's
good
that on
options.
then? Who's that on? Is that on Towns or is that on the play calls?
I think Towns has been going with the new coaching change and just dealing with what it is. But sometimes you got to pivot and just realize I'm that dude. And that matchup to me was fascinating.
By the way, Knicks fans, as you can imagine, not thrilled. And Bobby, I know you analyzed the lineups. Ben Stiller also not thrilled with the lineups, as we see here as he tweeted. So Lakers should feel pretty good. They're up 2-0, as we mentioned. LeBron is a perfect 24-0 in a series when he leads 2-0. That's, of course, the most in NBA history. On the flip side, Kevin Durant, his teams are only 1-5 when going down 0-2. The Lakers have been throwing double teams at KD all series, and Jabari Smith says he needs to figure it out.
It's on him to find ways to get himself involved and get to his spots without excluding double team. Just because he's getting double team, we still need him to, be KD. So, there's still ways around it, and we got some fixes to it, and we're gonna be better next 2 games.
2-0 is nothing. We've all kind of been there before. I know I have, and things flip quickly in a series, but stay aggressive and confident.
So Ime isn't worried, but Kevin Durant did have 9 turnovers in game 2. So Bobby, how do they turn this around?
Well, I think you just hit on it. During that stretch in March when they were really struggling, 7th most points off turnovers allowed. In these 3 games in the playoffs, 4th most points off turnovers allowed. So you got to value the possession of the basketball. The other thing is, I love Amen Thompson, but in these type of settings, he is one-dimensional. 70% of his points this season is in the paint. So when they're double-teaming Durant, as they've been doing here, who else on this team can score if it's not Durant? We're probably going to see a dose of Reed Shepherd moving forward here. But I think the Thompson part of angle is something certainly to watch.
Speaking of Reed Shepherd, Chiney, he only played 11 minutes in game 2. What have you made of his play in this series, and what do we need to see here?
Kevin Durant needs help with people that can space the floor and shoot the ball. And Reed Shepherd is that guy. And it makes a difference when he's on the floor and when he's not. Here on this possession, he is not on the floor. And what does that lead to? The Lakers are able to, like sharks in the water, smelling blood. The Rockets are red. They see the blood, and they're going to attack. That is an unforced error. That is too casual with the basketball. 9 turnovers. Now we have Reed on the floor. Now, I know he's only shooting 25% in this series. It does not matter because historically you still have to guard him. The double team comes, but you have to still space the floor, and you can't send it constantly at KD. Reed is able to attract a defender. That allows Kevin Durant to get downhill and get to a spot. Now, he's so good that he's still going to get 2 hands contesting, but Reed Shepherd can at least take some pressure and bring the ball up off of Kevin Durant. I don't think it's just KD. other people need to step up and take the pressure off of him because he's playing not 100%. He banged his knee, the patella. We're talking about rolling the ankle.
Right.
So he's not 100%, but he's dealing with 1,000% of the Lakers defenders.
Yeah, no question about that. All right, let's welcome in Dave McMiniman, who's in Houston for this one. Austin Reeves upgraded to questionable, Dave, for the first time all playoffs. What can you tell us about his status tonight?
George, he's been out since April 2nd with a grade 2 left oblique strain. And at the time of that injury, the recovery timeline was 4 to 6 weeks. Today is 3 weeks and 1 day since the injury. He started his return to play progression earlier this week. On Tuesday, was playing one-on-one. It's gone further since then. He's questionable. We'll see what happens as we approach game time. Now, keep this in mind. When he missed all of January with the calf strain, his first 5 games back were off the bench. That could be an option for J.J. Redick, the coaching staff tonight, especially considering just how well Luke Kennard's been playing. 25 points per game on 65% shooting thus far in the starting lineup so far in the series. So even if Austin can go, we'll have to see if there's a minute restriction or if they use him in a bit of a different role to ease him back in.
Good stuff, Dave. Thank you so much as always. Appreciate it. All right, Ramona. What do you make of the potential of Austin Reeves?
Well, I think if you're the Rockets here, like Austin Reeves coming back, I don't know how much he's going to play, even if he does come back. But I think that you have to focus on yourselves. You just have to make shots. And when you're on the road and they shoot as poorly as they did, they're 14th out of the 16 teams in three-point shooting in this series. They're last in total field goal percentage. It's not that often that you can have 44 more field goal attempts taken and still be losing in the series, right? They're good. They're winning the rebounding. They're just not making shots. And I think you have to just count on your shooters to keep shooting and be better at home. Because as you say, young players oftentimes on the road don't shoot well. That's the play here. I mean, I know you got to get KD some help. It's just make shots.
Yeah, and the Rockets, unfortunately, have opened up a can of worms because I was saying you can't get Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves level production from Luke Kennard and Marcus Smart because now Austin Reeves come back and now you have a huge deal defensively. And this is one of the strongest defensive teams. They can't slow these guys down. It seems like they were caught a little bit off guard, not only from Kevin Durant, but also just they should know the schemes are coming. They should know that that offensively KD is going to be trying to taken out. How do you respond? I'm excited to see Houston's adjustment. It's been a minute since there was hope in the Toyota Center. Y'all, I know I've been there multiple times. The fans are ready. Courtside is sold out. Kevin Durant is here. You have to make the most of this.
So, she mentioned the adjustments for the Rockets. What about J.J. Redick and the adjustment to the adjustment and the anticipation?
Well, listen, if you get Austin Reeves back, you're going to have to tinker with your lineup a little bit right now. But I'm rolling out what I've been doing. Yeah. I mean, it's worked here.
Yeah.
Basically, Luke Kennard off screens, LeBron as the point of attack here. Your role players with Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, Jackson Hayes here. I think
Marcus Smart.
Real quick with Houston, are we going to see a Dorian Finney-Smith sighting?
Ever? I mean, that was a big free agent.
Signed him for these moments here.
And we were so excited when we signed him. Get the most. Get the most out of him.
3D player.
Sorry, guys.
We'll
Not even on the court. Gotta keep
we'll
it cool.
see tonight.
We'll be all right.
All right, before we bounce, this Earth Month, the NBA is celebrating the legacy of Bill Walton, who many of us know was a champion for basketball and the environment. Bill was a strong supporter of the league's environmental sustainability efforts, having played an important role in multiple NBA Green campaigns over the years. And today, NBA Green is teaming up with the Arbor Day Foundation to plant 3 trees for every three-pointer made today. The first 32 trees will be planted in Bill Walton's honor. To learn more, visit NBAgreen.com.